Hello, this is Stephanomical and welcome back to another episode of the Nottingham Forest Career Mode. In this episode we're going to jump straight into the second game of the friendlies, and this time we've decided to go with a 4-4-2 diamond formation with Tesha at the base of the midfield and Lansbury in a more attacking role because he made such good runs in the first game. I thought I'd get him a bit further forward and see how he goes on there. But as you can see here early on, a great knockdown and a fantastic strike from Sabas, I think it was, that strikes the post. And it's an early let off, and they keep coming forwards here with Sabelli, who cuts inside really well, dribbles past my defence, and it's a great save from De Vries. And just as in the first game really, it's a good break here by Ward, who just tries to pass it on but he gets intercepted, and they've got loads of bodies forward, passes it on to Oliveira, and all he has to do is bring it inside. He tries to cut in, puts the ball over, but again I've got to get used to those crosses because that didn't work very well at all there. But talking about breaks again, this is a fantastic bit of play here. Lansbury brings it out really well, Oliveira holds it up, and it's a fantastic through ball to Tesha, and he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper, gets cynically pulled back by Sabelli, I think it is, the right back. And it's just a shame that I couldn't get my shot away or pass it on to Ward on the left hand side, who was open. And he gets booked, and it's a free kick on the edge of the box, and I think this is the first one I took in the entire game. And as you can see here, just on the replay, how good a ball that was. That's on the manual passing as well. It's the manual through ball, so I'm glad that I've started using that because it works really well. And then the free kick here from Lansbury, the first one I took, straight in the back of the net. What a finish that was. I don't know why the wall didn't jump, but they should have done. So I'm pretty sure it only cleared it by about an inch or so. I mean, here on the replay, I think you'll see it in a second. Look at how close that was, but what a finish. Had such great power behind it. I think here you see, they just duck out the way of it. They move the heads out of the way, and it's 1-0. Hopefully we'll be able to actually hold on to the win in this game. And as you can see here again, it's another fantastic break. I think it's a Sombalonga that brings it forward here. And Lansbury again making a great run. But it's a poor finish in the end. It's on semi-finishing. That's something I'm going to have to get used to as the games go on, especially in these friendlies, while it doesn't really matter. And that's how it ends at half-time. It's 1-0 and hopefully be able to make it count. I decided to change a bit. I bring on Eskisehirspor for Tesha in the base of midfield to see how he goes on, and also Williams for Lansbury to see how he goes on in the middle on his own this time, and not with another attacking midfielder with him. But again, they have a really good chance. It's a great save from De Vries again. And here it comes out to Jamiti, who holds it on the edge of the box, manages to pass it inside. And it's a great bit of play, but it's a really good save from De Vries, and in the end we managed to clear it. But again, they come forwards here, bringing players forward. What a ball over the top that is, but an absolutely awful shot. And it goes out for a throw-in, thankfully for us. And from then on, there's no real chances. I mean, this is the closest that they come with this ball over the top to the left winger, but De Vries is there and he picks it up. All he has to do is hold on to it really, and I nearly throw it straight back to their striker, but we clear it with Lehigh, and that's how it ends. It's 1-0 and 3 points on the board. That should give us enough points almost to get through to the semi-final of the tournament. And after that game, I decided to look at the scout reports that we've been getting for the goalkeeper and the left back that we need. And looking at the players that we get through, Daniel Bentley is a pretty promising goalkeeper from Southend, and in real life I knew that Championship and Premier League teams are interested in him, so I'm going to keep tabs on him. And I'm not sure how likely we are to get some of the other players like Joel Campbell at Arsenal. I know he's probably going to be on quite a high wage, so I'm not sure if I should really be scouting him, but I've decided to anyway. I might as well to see if we can get him. And there's other promising left backs that we can see here. Declan John at Cardiff and Jordan Obita at Reading. Both look like good players, and I think I'm going to keep tabs on them. They look like good all-rounders who can get forward and also defend, so I decided to scout both of those as well. And Obita's only 21 and Declan John's only 20 with some great stats. Maybe getting one of those two and then throw him on the training would be really good in maybe another half a season, maybe even getting into the first team. And then there's these two other players from the French report, Pereira and Sabali. I think Sabali's a bit more defensive, but Pereira looks like a good all-rounder. I think he might cost a bit, but we'll have to have a look at him as well. And as you can see here, 4 points from the first two games, a point will send us through to the semi-finals, and we play the team that are joint top with us, Guimaraes. So we'll see how this goes, and if we can stay top, or hopefully get to top, and then be able to play the weaker team in the other group in the semi-final. And the only change in this game really is that I've got Eskisehirspor starting in the defensive midfield role, and I've also got Mancien starting for Wilson in the back four. It's a good start here. Ward brings the ball over and it drops to Lansbury on the edge of the box in that attacking midfield role, but it's saved by Douglas. But it's a good start right at the start of the game, and really he should have done better with that. And it drops to Lansbury again here, another chance on the edge of the box, but it's straight into the arms of the goalkeeper, and to be honest he should have done better with that. But here he is again, influential in bringing it out of the midfield, manages to find Ward, who's running in front of the defence, who then finds Asombalonga, and then takes the shot. What a goal that is. What a finish that was from Asombalonga. I think he's probably one of the best finishers I actually have in my entire squad. So I need to think about really maybe playing him with a bigger striker. Maybe Oliveira or maybe Blackstock, just someone who can hold it up better for him to take the shots on. Because that was a great finish. I think he'll definitely be in the starting lineup with finishes like that. And I think it's the deserved lead, to be honest. And then this is the best chance they probably have in this entire half. Bruno Alves pulls it back to Tamane near the penalty spot, but he blasts it over the bar. And that's how it stays for the first half. 1-0 I think is a good scoreline. I think that reflects how the game went. And that gives us a lot of confidence going into the second half, because that basically puts us into the semi-final. And Lansbury has the first chance of the half. It's a bit of a tame effort, but at least he gets it on target. But Guimaraes are more attacking in the second half, and they play it quite well down the right-hand side. Brings the ball in, but the head is off target. If that was on target, that would have been pretty dangerous as it was so close in. And that was a poor effort from De Vries to clear the ball. Kicks it straight out to Rundell, and Bruno Alves takes the shot on. It's straight at him, thankfully, and I make a couple of substitutions. End up bringing on Reid for Lansbury. I don't know if that was a clever move, as he has been one of our best players, if not the best. And I also decided to bring on Tesha for Eskisehirspor. And from this free kick, it kicks it straight at Hobbs, but it's just head tennis. It loops over De Vries. It's 1-1. I don't know how deserved it was, to be honest, but I don't know how it went in. De Vries doesn't seem to even react to it. He just watches it go straight over his head, and it's 1-1. And from that I decided to bring on Blackstock for Oliveira just to see how well he holds it up. And from here Reid somehow luckily gets the ball. He hits it, but it's saved well by Douglas, and it goes out for a corner. And from the corner Reid takes it. He's got a great left peg, brings it in, and Cohen's there. A good header. I thought it was going wide, but it's straight in the back of the net, and it's 2-1 with only a couple of minutes remaining. And that's how it ended, 2-1, so that means that I finished top of the group, so I play the weaker team out of the other group. I'm not sure who that is yet, so we'll find out in a second. But 2-1, a good result, unbeaten in the group, so I was pretty happy with that. And as you can see from the stats, I ended up actually having more shots than them. I think that's the first time I've done that, so I was also pretty happy with that as well, attacking wise. And I also get nearly $1 million just for getting through to the semi-finals, and I also get a letter of concern from Johnny Williams. I'm not too bothered about that because he is a short-term loan, so if I don't play him too much I'm not that fussed. And then moving on, we get another scout report from the Netherlands this time for Jetro Williams, who's worth about $7.5 million. He looks like a good player, but to be honest I don't think I'll actually be able to afford him. And just before we go through to the semi-finals, we see that the team that was with us in first has dropped down to third, and we play a team called Eskisehirspor, I think that's how you pronounce it, and that's who we play in the semi-final. As you can see, I start with Blackstock up top, and I also can't decide who to play in the defensive midfield role, so this time I tried Tesha instead of Eskisehirspor in the starting lineup. But I must admit right now, I did a goof, and I accidentally didn't save the first half of this game. So apologies for that. I wasn't playing very well, and I was 1-0 down as you can see. So hopefully we can bring it back in this second half. But straight away you can see why I wasn't playing very well. They just went straight through me basically. This guy on the left wing, De Federico, pulls a good save out of De Vries, and I've just barely managed to get it clear. Actually, in fact I don't. They just hit it over the bar. And then again, just bringing players forward. I'm just all over the place really, and I don't know how they managed to get this away. It hits the post, and I'm just getting away with it once more. And to be honest, even in the second half, they had about 4 or 5 good chances in the first 20 minutes, and I could easily have been 4 or 5-0 down. So I make a kind of rash decision. I end up bringing on Reid for Lansbury and then Eskisehirspor for Tesha, and I also decide to bring Mills on for Hobbs just to see how he goes on at centre half. And just before Lansbury goes off, he makes a great run through the middle, cutting through the defence, passes it on to Ward, who cuts inside of the penalty box, but it's taken out by the defender, and it's a penalty and a way to get back into this game when it all looked lost, to be honest. I thought I was going out of the competition. And Andy Reid stepped up to the plate to take the penalty, and he buried it in the left-hand side of the goal. We needed that because, to be honest, I don't think there's any other way that we were going to score. And hopefully that lets us regroup and able to get on the offensive and hopefully get the win that we need to get through to the final of this competition before the season begins. But before that happens, they have another good chance into the middle of the goal. It's the defender that took me out for the penalty, nearly making amends there. And then the last second, as they push forward, a ball over the top by Asombalonga, I think it was, nearly dropped to Reid, but it was cleared well by the goalkeeper. And just before the game ends, the chance that I need comes along. The ball over the top by Mills from the free kick drops to Reid. Not the best player I wanted on a header, but it's just wide, and to be honest, that was the half chance I needed really to go through to the final. But that's how the game ended, 1-1, and I didn't know it at the time, but it goes straight to penalties. So let's see how this goes. But just before that starts, you can see how lucky I was. They had 14 shots to my 4, so I was lucky to get this far. And as you can see, I'm not the best at penalties, but Andy Reid's pretty good. He's the first player to step up to the plate. A confident penalty taker, straight into the right-hand side. But they take their penalty and they bury theirs as well. And this is how it went for quite a while, to be honest. Burke, who is another good one that I've got taking the penalties, buries his to the left-hand side. And then De Federico, who had a good chance earlier in the game, buries his. That's a perfect penalty. All my attacking players were taking their penalties and scoring them, which is good to see. But they were doing just the same thing, to be honest. They weren't missing any of theirs either. Ward, again, another player who's been good for me, buries his to the right-hand side. But they continuously scored theirs as well. It was pretty tense, because to be honest, it was getting closer and closer to sudden death. And no one had missed a penalty still. I was going the wrong way for all of them. Somblonga buries his as well. And I tried to put the player off before he takes the last penalty before sudden death, but I go the wrong way yet again. He buries it, and going into midfield, Eskisehirspor takes his, another good penalty. It looks like we could have gone all night, and the penalties would have still been going in, but Gungor, another player who had a chance earlier and conceded the penalty, buries his, and now we're onto the defence, and Lehigh, confident as you can be, takes the penalty. And then Koskun stands up, but he blazes it over the bar. I don't think any goalkeeper would have made a save in this penalty shootout. But there we are, we're through to the final. I'm not sure how much we deserved it, but as Brendan Rodgers would say, we showed great character. So if you want to see the final in the next episode, subscribe for more, and like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you then.